All right, so let's talk about the repeating decimals. And I'm going to start with one that you all know or should know. Okay, 0.333 repeating. What is the rational form of that? 0.333 is, yeah, Brett. 1 over 3. Okay, so let's see how you come across or how you come up with this. Okay, so there's a process to use to find this. And here's the process, and I'll write the steps as we do. Okay, you're first going to take your number, and so this is finding rational form. Okay, so you're going to take the number that you're given, the repeating decimal number, and you're going to set it equal to x. I'm going to write my x on the left just because it's easier that way. Okay, now notice, I'm only going to write whatever the digits are that are repeating. So if I only have a single digit repeating, I'm just going to write the 3 the one time. All right, next step. You're going to identify how many digits repeat. And so how many digits repeat in this number? 1. So I'm just going to write that here on the side. Again, you don't have to write it down. You can mentally kind of calculate it. But I'm going to write it right here. Once you identify how many digits repeat, your next step is to multiply both sides of the equation. By 10 to the power of the number from step 2. And so hopefully you can kind of see that. And so you're going to multiply both sides of this equation by 10 to the power of whatever the number is of digits that repeated. So in this case, I'm going to take 10 to the first, and I'm going to multiply both sides of my equation by that. So what is 10 times x? 10x. And what is 10 times 0.3 repeating? So we move the decimal one place over, but there's 3's repeating, so it's 3.33333, right? That's going to continue to repeat. Okay, what you need, or the whole reason for doing this, is you need these repeating decimal parts to line up above each other. So notice how this 0.3 repeating is right over the top of this 0.3 repeating. Okay, so we can move to the next step, which is subtract the first equation from the equation in step 3. Okay, so the 1 and the 3 just illustrate these steps up here. So I'm just going to subtract these. And when I subtract them, I get 10x minus 1x is 9x. And 3.3 repeating minus 0.3 repeating. Notice these repeating parts cancel, right? When you subtract them, they're completely removed. And so all I'm left with is this 3 out front. And so my final step in solving this is to now solve for the resulting x. So if I divide both sides by 9, I get x is equal to 3/9, which reduces to 1/3. So that's your rational form for that. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at this same process. I'm not going to write down all the steps of this next time. I'm just going to talk through them, and we'll see how this works with a different repeating decimal. Okay. Anybody have a 2-digit number?
23.
23. Okay, so let's say we take 7.23, and let's say the 23 repeats. Okay, so 7.232323 and so on. Okay, if we want to find the rational form for this number, okay, the first step is we set it equal to x. The second step, we're going to find how many digits repeat. So how many digits are repeating here? 2. So we're going to take 10 to that power, and we're going to multiply both sides of this equation. What is 10 squared? 100. So 100 times x gives us 100x. And here, when we multiply this by 100, we move the decimal 2 places to the right, so we get 723.2323 repeating. Okay, so as long as you have your repeating parts lining up, those will cancel completely and give you rational or give you integer values to work with. So when we subtract now, we get 99x. Over here, the repeating parts cancel. So we're looking at 723 minus 7. That leaves us with 716. And now solve for x, divide both sides by 99. And we can use our calculator to verify, does this number simplify at all? We have 716 divided by 99. Enter, and you see the calculator shows there's no simplified form. That's as simplified as it gets, but it fits within the description of rational number. It's the ratio or fraction of 2 integer values. Okay, now let's say you want to test to see whether you're right before you hit submit on the quiz. And let's say this is your quiz question. Okay, if we took 716 over 99 and we entered it in our calculator, anybody know how to make your calculator display a decimal form? The green diamond. So we have a couple things. We can either hit the green diamond. If that's selected and we hit enter, what are we expecting this number to be in decimal form? 7.23 repeating, right? So let's take a look and see if that works. 7.23233. So you can confirm it. In this type of question, you should know before you actually hit submit that you're right. Okay, hopefully you check it. If it's not right, then and you've done something wrong, go back and try to find the mistake. Okay. Okay, let's do one more. I'll have you guys do it on your own. Eric, give me, or Mondo, give me 2 digits. Actually, give me 3 digits. Let's try 3. Any 3 digits. All right. So let's see what happens when we take 1.528 and we repeat the 528. Okay, so just take a moment. See if you can find the rational form of that, please. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of talk through the steps. Step 1, set it, the original number equal to x. Identify how many digits repeat, which is 3. So we're going to take 10 to the third, which is 1,000. We're going to multiply both sides of this equation by 1,000. So we get 1,000x. And here, when we move this decimal 3 places over, we get 1528.528, repeating. We can now subtract these equations. So 1000x minus 1x is 999x. The repeating part, the 0.528, are going to cancel. And we get 1528 minus 1, so that's 1527. Divide both sides by 99 to solve for x, or 999. And we can confirm, does this have a simplified form? And when we divide that, we get 509 over 33, or 333. Okay, now, I'm not 100% certain this is my correct answer, but I can verify it. The way that I verify is I enter that into my calculator. Now, with the way that my calculator is set up, if I wanted to actually just bring these exact numbers down, so this is the simplified form, they're really the same thing, I can go highlight it, hit enter, it'll copy it down there for me. I can put it into decimal form. There's another way that you can get a decimal form on your calculator display. Actually, 2 more. Okay. We'll talk about your calculators here in just a moment, but if you're in auto mode, which I do encourage you and suggest you be in auto mode, whatever form you enter your answers in the display, that's how it's going to display the answer itself. So when you enter this as a fraction and hit enter, it's just going to give you a fraction as the solution. But if you put one of those numbers, or at least one of them, in the decimal form, so just by adding a decimal to this calculation, and now hit enter, it's going to give me the decimal form. And you can see here 528, 528, 528. Obviously, it's rounding here, right? So this is the correct form. So now I can verify that I have the right answer.